Brian Johnson is quickly becoming one of the most inspirational thought leaders of his generation. Brian is a talent producer in Hollywood and an Amazon #1 best-selling author. He is also a host and inspirational speaker. Upon overcoming his own personal challenges, including homelessness and intense depression, which almost caused him to take his own life, he has dedicated his life to helping others live your dreams out loud.
You've been on quite a journey, Brian, from a small town in Alabama, population 600, to Tinseltown. You are now living out your dreams in Hollywood. And that's a tough journey. And it's a tough town, especially for a Black man. Please share the difficulties that you faced along the way because of your race and how you overcame them, Brian.
Difficulties were just not, everything was such a blur to me. It was so confusing why somebody would dislike me because of the color of my skin. And, to have those bouts and to have those things growing up in the South, being from African descendants, being from Christians and understanding the plight, the journey, my family always instilled into me like some sort of unwavering faith. Like there was just something that we were deeply rooted something that was deeply rooted into us. It was just our faith. And that comes from a long lineage of, hundreds of years of everything that transpired, pre Brian Johnson. But it was really the faith, the faith was the foundation of me. And when I look back at it, and sometimes I'm like reflecting and I'm writing a new book, trying to chronicle my journey from LA to LA, Lower Alabama to Los Angeles. It's really my faith, having a great solid family we didn't have a lot, but we had a lot of love. And so I've tried to implement that in all areas of my life in terms of just loving, being kind, doing the small things. It was truly, truly my faith. And my mom always told me, like, just keep the faith, just keep the faith. And honestly, there's nothing that I can paint this crazy picture about this happened, this happened, this happened. It was just a faith that I had in me. Like, I have to succeed. I don't have a choice. I have to succeed. It's just my faith. So it's my faith.
Well, I want to talk a moment, a bit more about Hollywood. And, so Marilyn Monroe, she has this famous quote: Hollywood is a place where they'll pay you $1,000 for a kiss and 50 cents for your soul. So my question for you, Brian, is how have you been able to win success without losing your soul along the way, like so many do? What was your win? How'd you do it?
If I would have come out here in my early 20s, I probably would have lost myself. But because I came out here at a much mature age, had been through some life experiences, I was able to understand and stand on the other side. And I tell people all the time, I'm in Hollywood, but I'm not of Hollywood. I'm here, but I'm really not here. I don't partake in all the stuff. And it's interesting because I'm the person that is working on all of these big shows, having to develop relationships with publicists and agents and managers. And it's just, you have to understand how to carry yourself and conduct yourself and not get caught up into the trap, because it really is a trap. And you could really go out here and sell your soul. And I know, tons of people who move here all the time, specifically women, guys are just throwing things at them, and it's like they can really go down that path. And I have a lot of people that I mentor that I know that's the case, and I know that they could. I just chose to not do it. But I will say, like I said, going back to my initial point, if I would have come out here in my early 20s, I probably would have lost myself, just because you've never seen this. There's nothing like the element, the energy out here. But and then also know my purpose. Let's just really stay there. And I'm very aware of who I am, what I'm meant to do here. So that keeps me separated from the crowd. That's really the key. It's really about me being aware of who I am, more so. And a lot of people in life don't know who they are and what they're supposed to be doing here. And by the time I got here, I'd already figured that out.
Wow. Yeah, there's a lot to be said about that lived experience, so I'd like to talk a moment about, when we define ourselves, when we define the you made it, that you made it part isn't always easy to define. You've had so many successes, Brian, from managing talent for the Arsenio Hall show, the Bill Nye show, publishing a best-selling book. What for you was the defining moment of your success thus far? When did you know you made it? What was that moment?
When I got here, when I got here and I moved out here with $325 in a red suitcase, I knew that if I could just get here, that I made it. And I think so many times in life, we wait until the successes or whatever is financial or all this other type of stuff to keep this very simple. And I heard this, I can't take credit for this. Every day that you wake up, you get another chance. The choice is up to you. I knew once I got here that I got a chance. And so every day that I'm waking up, I know I'm getting another chance. What choice am I going to make? What choice am I going to make? Well, the choice was I took the journey and the leap of faith to get out here. So let's celebrate that. Let's have gratitude for that. That's the win. Just getting here. I knew I made it once I got here. The book and all this other stuff, I knew that was going to be a part of the journey, but it was me getting here, and I celebrate me getting here. Actually, 10 years, it'll be 10 years in December since I moved out here. So it's me getting here. That's when I knew I made it. Honestly, I don't think about all the successes and the things that come along with it. It's, man, celebrate where you are right now. I'm getting another, I make these choices every day, but it's really about the fact that I get another chance to wake up every single day. And that's the biggest thing for me.
Yeah, that is beautiful. And like you say, just celebrating that moment. We don't have to wait to celebrate something in the distant future, but just the now of it.
If you decide to write a book right now, the fact of the matter, the win is that you've made the decision. So celebrate that, but then take action and really celebrate that. Because the book is going to come out, it's going to do its thing, but celebrate the now, the fact that you made the decision and you're going to take the action. That's where you got to celebrate, you know?
Right. Well, and so I love that it wasn't enough for you to make it. You had to help others make it as well. So let's talk about your book. So Live Your Dreams Out Loud. Please tell us about these 6 steps that you defined for conquering your fears and achieving your dreams. I'm so just in love with this whole concept and these steps.
Yeah, for me, it was really about figuring out, I think a lot of times when it comes to the whole notion of dreaming, right? What does that mean? And for me, it was like, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a creative, I'm an influencer, I'm aspiring to be a thought leader. But what are people's biggest struggles when it comes to living their dreams? And so I know I had my perspective, but I wanted to create some sort of ask campaign. And so I had an email list, and I started just reaching out to friends, just figuring out what is the number one thing that is preventing you or would prevent you from living your dreams. And so therefore now I had some actual context to not just me. And so I studied, psychology and marketing and understanding, just how people learn. And I wanted to come up with a really good framework that would be memorable based on the responses that people gave me and also my own tutelage. So I came up with the 6 steps. Clarity, that's the number one thing. Who are you? Are you clear about who you are and where you're going and what you're supposed to be doing? Like a lot of people out here, we wake up every day and we don't have any clarity about what we're going to do for the day. We have no plan whatsoever. We don't even understand truly what's the end game for the end of the day? Like, how do you see this? How do you visualize the day? And so that was just one of the premier things. And I really wanted to lean in, giving people a fundamental model that they could take, make the book interactive. So by the time you got finished, you could actually have a tangible plan and solution to get started with your dreams. And so that's how I came up with it. I had great mentors and people that I invested into, just people who had already gone through this process with their books to see why were they so successful. And I just think that when it comes to the living your dreams out loud, because you've heard the whole notion, live your dreams, but to me, that was just very cloudy. And live, I broke it down like this, and I'm actually updating the book right now for another revised version since I've been out here 10 years. And, this is the book right here. I'm updating the book because now I've evolved some, there are more steps that I want to include since I first wrote the book in 2014. And instead of conquering your fears, I think it's more about controlling your fears.
Ah, very different.
Very different, very different. So, for me, it's wanting to make this book interactive. Let me go back and give you the 6 steps. Like I said, number 1 is clarity. It's all about clearing your mind and focusing on your passion and purpose, like understanding who you are. And the second one is commitment. The third one is connection. The fourth one is competence. The fifth one is condition. And the 6th one is cash flow. Because no matter what, you got to have some money when it comes down to it. And what does that look like if you are an entrepreneur, a thought leader, somebody that has this idea? It's a matter of just giving people a great framework for them to go out and live their dreams. That's essentially what it is. And going back to what I was saying, I'll break this down. So you got live, then you got your dreams, then you got out loud. So what does live mean? Live means, do you have clarity about life and who you are? Your dreams, what are your dreams? What are your dreams now that you have the clarity of who you are and what life is all about? And then out loud is all about taking action. It's the action part. Like, let's not just be head in the clouds. Oh, I got this dream, but how do I go about taking action? And that's pretty much how I came up with that.
I love how just concise and simplified, you make the whole process. And again, like you say, like the framework to operate in, right? Just providing those directives. As we conclude this conversation, I would like to go back to a conversation that you and I had the other day. The other day when we spoke, you mentioned it's not about going through it, it's growing through it. And that really stuck with me. So personal question for you. Let's end this on a personal note. Of all the things that you've grown through, Brian, which one has helped you grow the most?
Such a great question. And I would be remiss if I didn't go right back to the point where this life is so beautiful, but because of circumstances, not having the emotional intelligence, alcohol abuse, hurt, trauma that I wasn't even conscious of, it would be when I got to rock bottom and considered taking my life. That would be the thing that I've grown through the most, because I was at the tail end of wanting to end it all and to get myself out of that and be on this dream journey. That was the moment of defining for me. That was the point.
Wow. And that's just goes to speak to the fact, like so many people reference the fact that it's at that darkest moment that we finally see the light.
I mean, I had nothing. I was broke, depressed. I was homeless, sleeping out of my car. My car was on the verge of getting repossessed. I was taking showers at LA Fitness. I was just a struggling entrepreneur. My pride was in the way. I didn't want to go involve family into this. I was an adult. And just because I had a college degree doesn't mean anything, but I knew there was something, going back to just that unwavering faith. I knew this was just a moment. It was just a moment. It was for now, not forever. It was just for now. And so if I could figure out for now, then I knew that I would get through forever. Because if you can grow through that, I knew on the other side that there was so much beauty and bliss that I would be okay. And so I never allowed myself to do anything to compromise my morals of who I was as a person. I continued to treat people with the utmost respect and continue to love. And it was just, I had to figure it out. So I tell people all the time now, if you just give me the phone and the internet, I'll be okay. And some French fries. I mean, if you give me some French fries and a bottle of water, I'll be okay, because I love French fries. That is like my kryptonite. But literally the phone and the internet, and I'll figure it out. I will figure out how to survive, because with the birth of technology and the internet, it has made it readily affordable for us to do anything, and create anything. And, it was there that I also learned just true business, and not feeling like you have to have everything together to get started. Like there were things that I started pre-selling, ideas that I birthed in these moments. And it's just like, if you're going to a concert, what do? You buy advance tickets, right? So people pre-sell things all the time. Like, you don't have to have everything together. Start pre-selling, because people will help you build. They will support, like, if you make them a part of the process and the journey, and you can get really creative and start to build and cultivate that community and make it exciting, you can really create something amazing. And that's what I did with my book. I mean, I didn't have, a lot of money at the time, and I started pre-selling the book months before it came out, and the book just went crazy, and it taught me a lot. So when I was broke, depressed, homeless, suicidal, I learned so much about myself, and that's the pivotal moment for me. And for anybody that's listening to this right now, I don't know where they are. I don't know where you are in your journey. You could be broke, broken, depressed. You could be, you could have all the money in the world, all the success. I'll tell you this, at the end of the day, just be a great and kind human being. And just, that's really what it matters. None of this shit matters at all. Like, this is going to go away at some point in time. Energy remains, energy sustains. And if you can just be a great person, I hope that is the energy that will sustain in the ecosystem long after you're gone. That's truly what really matters, and just being aware of who you are. And if you're aware of who you are, then guess what? Everything changes.
Then you can live your dream.
You can live your dream.
Starts there. Thank you so much, Brian. Thank you for sharing your story, your journey, your wins that you found along the way, how you grew through so much. And thank you just for helping all of us become a bit more aware now.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Brian. Thank you.
Thank you so much for this journey, and I appreciate you and everything that you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you.